What's going on, YouTube? TalkWitEVIL here, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at Godzilla the Ride, the Bandai figure that came out 2 years ago. I'm a little late to the party on reviewing it, but with the new news of Godzilla -1, this now becomes relevant again because most of the design seems to be, I'll show you pictures, we'll go over what each Godzilla looks like and different features of each one, because it seems like we got a lot of inspiration from a lot of different Godzillas across all the different eras of his entire franchise. So hit the like button, guys, hit the subscribe button. Let's do another Talk with Evil. And while we talk, let's review. So let's talk about Godzilla the Ride. I watched a video on YouTube. It was wild. It'd be really fun to go on it if I'm ever in Japan. But we're reviewing this Godzilla here today. This is the design and the version from the ride. Now, give me a minute. Let me bring my lights in here so we can get a little bit more lighting in on the figure. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. We have a lot more light now, so let's go. Some of the stuff in the background might be a little bright. Sorry about that, but we're going to take a look at this Godzilla. So, let's glance at the Godzilla the Ride figure first. He has a lot of 90s Godzilla vibes. He's got chunky big legs, and he's wide, just like the legendary Godzilla. As you can see, his neck area here, a lot of Millennium Godzilla in this right here. A lot of Millennium Godzilla here. But look at that face. Because that face doesn't it scream Heisei Godzilla, 90s Godzilla? Of course it does. And look at the eyes. If it wants to focus, my camera's being a little bit of pain in the butt today. Let's just back up a little bit. Hold on. There we go. Look at the eyes. Bright white, just like the Godzilla from Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Mothra, All Monsters Attack. Isn't that crazy? Now, I don't believe in the ride the eyes are white. I think they're more along the lines of regular Godzilla color eyes. But I did see a couple promotional shots and pictures of the eyes look like a mixture of the one from Godzilla, GMK, All Monsters Attack. And just regular Godzilla eyes. So there's a lot of white features in it, so maybe they got inspiration from that. We got dorsal fins, look very classic dorsal fins, long tail. The figure's great, and the figure has a little bit of green detail on him. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We'll take a look and see if we can see it once it wants to focus. Is it going to show the green? Because I'll show a couple pictures that I took. It's like splashed with green. It's definitely splashed with green, and it's got a lot of nice detail, of course, as always, as all these Godzillas do. I love the design. One of the only bad things about this figure is you can see how tiny his head is. He looks like that shrunken head from Beetlejuice. It looks a little goofy, but still looks really cool. We got probably the Bandai stamp on his tail. Yeah, Bandai stamp on his tail. There it is, which is cool. Made in China. And then another weird thing is his shoulders. They look like he's like this. Like he's like this. Like I don't know what this is. Like he's like rawr. I don't know what this is, but that's what he's doing. I think it's just the design of the figure. Maybe he was about to shoot his atomic breath or atomic ray, whatever you want to call it. But you can pose his hands. You can also pose his feet, his legs. They move a little bit. You can't really pose a lot. Let me move the lights again. Give me a minute. Got my little spotlights here. I want to kind of just dim down a little bit because they're a little bright. We get some close-ups. Some close-ups of the detail of his hands. Once it focuses. There we go. You got his claws. His claws are painted, obviously. And like I said, he's got splashes of green in here. And this is the contrast to the Godzilla -1 that I've noticed. That has a lot of splashes of it. Looks like yellow on the Bandai toy. You'll see. I'll pop it up. But it seems like that's just dust and whatnot. Because from what I gather, I don't know if you guys have heard more. Maybe more's come out since I've made this video. But it really does seem like it takes place like almost immediately after World War II ends. The bombs are dropped. The war ends. Who knows? The war not even over yet? I don't know, because everything is in ruins and he shows up. Could be wrong. It could be another a straight reboot from the 50s, but in the trailer it says from 0 to minus. So I don't know, because in the original Gojira, they don't show the damage. It's mostly all Tokyo stuff, and Tokyo was, you know, it wasn't destroyed or whatnot from the war. They weren't in that rebuilding process in the movie. But this one, they look like they're just getting out of the rubble, and he shows up. It must just insult to injury, which is crazy. He really says it with his chest. Look at this. Say it with your chest. Here's a nice figure, though. And we're getting the -1 Bandai coming out, which looks very similar to him. The only real differences that I've noticed is, like I said, instead of the splashes of green, which I'm trying to... It's so subtle, you really can't see it. There's only certain spots you can see it. Let that focus in. Give me a minute. I'm going to zoom in. Let that focus. 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 It's having trouble focusing today, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why. But there's little splashes of green. Like right here. All up over here. Like the tips of all of these dorsal fins and all these spikes that he has on him. Which is wild. But you can kind of see the discoloration. It's grayish, and then there's like a grayish green that trails his whole spikes and some of his body. So this one has some green on it. And the -1 has yellow, so I believe it's dust. And the -1 Godzilla looks a lot like Stan Winston's Godzilla from that scrap 94 Godzilla before they did 98. I'll show pictures up here. You'll see with everything I'm talking about. You'll see. I'll put pictures and everything up. There's one shot of the statue. I guess it's in Japanese theaters. They have a statue of -1. I'm gonna call him -1. Everybody's pretty much calling him -1. -1 standing there, and the way he's just shaped, and his head looks skinnier than any of the promotional shots, and even in the trailer, it looks like the one from Stan Winston's design, from I want to say 94, I think it was. It's a nice figure though. Now here are the pros and cons of this figure. Pros, I think the design is great. You have a lot of features from all the other Godzillas mixed in. You have Heisei Godzilla, Millennium Godzilla. You have Legendary Godzilla. You have you have the white eyes. I mean, I know that probably just for the figure. I think he has more normal eyes in like the actual ride itself. And it looks like the Godzilla -1 will have regular eyes, I guess. I hope he has regular eyes. That'd be scary. I don't want white eyes. White eyes were cool for just GMK. Leave it at GMK. Give us evil-looking regular eyes. You could see his pupils and everything. I don't know. It's a weird thing I'm looking for with that movie. I'll put a couple of still pictures up here. I'm trying to remember in my head his eyes. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have white eyes. That would have jumped out to me and probably everybody else instantly. It's a good figure. I like it. I don't think it's that expensive at the moment. I believe you could still get him for a decent price. I do like this Bandai. I think it's a decent price point. It's like what, $40 or $50. I think it's still that price. I think I saw on eBay recently. I don't know if it's gone up. There's some couple sellers that are selling it for like $150. Ignore that. That's not a thing. You can find it cheaper than that. But one other thing I wanted to point out is if we can get focus on his teeth. There you go. Focus on his teeth. The Godzilla -1, his teeth look rigid and dangerous and crazy. This one has more. The ride has more a normal looking Godzilla. His teeth. I can't really explain it. I'll show you in the pictures. You'll see the posts. The pictures come up as we're talking. As we're talking here. I'm very excited. I'm very, 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 very excited for -1. It's coming into U.S. theaters on December 1st. I don't know if that means it's going to be a limited run. Again, more information is probably coming out. I just don't have all the information on it yet. You guys may have more of it. Leave the comments below. You excited for it? You want to see it? Because of course I do. Let's take a quick look at his tag, which I do always recommend. I have old school Dragon shields. I gotta buy some new ones. But old school matted back clear dragon shields to cover the his tag. But the tag's in great condition. I never not have them sleeved up. So they're kind of like the Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They're in really good condition. I take really good care of the tags. Slide it in right there. Now, can we see something with this? Or is this just black and white? If that's black and white, we're not going to be able to tell color-wise. Nah, he's black and white. But the figure has green. I took pictures. When I took pictures of the figure before for, like, you know, shots for the socials, you'll see that there's green on him. I can't... It's like so minimal at the tips and the edges of these bumps and the starting of his dorsal spine here, going all the way down. There's like touches of green, and the touches of green you see here, I see touches of yellow on -1. So I don't know what that means. They look very similar. This is definitely -1 is heavily inspired from this version of Godzilla, because obviously this was a dope Godzilla and they should use it again, and they are. Just the dorsal fins are wild. The dorsal fins are like crazy spiky. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that. Because they're not going to make those dorsal fins super pointy and not have a purpose. We're not going to not see something happen. Slicing a building, whatever. I don't know. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a great movie. I'm very excited for it. Guys, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I recommend getting this Godzilla figure if you haven't gotten him already. The only catch with this figure is now he's technically dated because we're getting -1. I'm bringing the lights back in so you can see him a little bit better. It's tough to tell because my screen on my camera is not HD, so I can't tell if you guys are getting a good look at him. It looks like he's too full of shadow, but you can see him. I'll leave him right there. We'll move the camera down like that. We'll zoom in just a smidge, and we'll do a little bit our final little talk here. So. -1 December 1st, very excited for that. The pros of this figure, so much inspiration from so many different Godzillas over so many different eras. Also, so many, you know, English and Japanese, because there's Legendary in here. It's amazing. He's like just all the best parts of all the Godzillas put together. He's like Frankenstein Godzilla. The two main negatives of this figure, not necessarily the design, because the X Plus version is beautiful, wild looking. Though X Plus looks much closer to -1 than this one does. The dorsal fins look a lot closer to it, even though they're not super spiky like you'll see. But the two drawbacks: he has tiny baby little head, tiny head, and his shoulders are up like this. Now, it's just a product of the design, I guess, of how they had to put his arms in, but they could have. Well, there is a shot in I'll put it up here. There is a shot in the ride where he kind of turns and puts his arms up like that when he roars, and I guess maybe that's where they got that idea from for it. And there's one more inspiration that this Godzilla definitely has. If you guys have seen the Always Godzilla, I'll put a picture up here and maybe a quick little GIF if I can find one. It was from a different Toho Japanese movie. I want to say it was 2009. It was about a family in the 50s. It wasn't about Godzilla at all. But the beginning of the movie is a dream sequence of that family, the family in that movie, going through the Godzilla attack of 1954, which is really cool. He's also inspired from that, definitely. Hands down, there's inspiration from that. Because that Godzilla also had white eyes. But he just looks better now because the special effects have gotten better, obviously, since 2009. Don't hold me to that. Comment if I'm wrong below. I think it's 2009. Maybe 2010. But I'm going to stick with 2009. That's my final answer, Regis. But guys, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We'll have more Godzilla stuff coming up. I'm going to maybe get the -1 figure. I don't know. I don't like the Bandai. I'm not sold on it unless it's not a final paint job. You'll see it up here again. I'll put it up again. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. But we'll have to pray for more. This was another pray for a better version, more paint job, a change, whatever they got to do because it looks a little wonky. But hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. We'll have more Godzilla stuff. I'm gonna hopefully get maybe I'll get the monster arts. Oh, the monster arts. That's right. Real quick, we have the monster arts I'll pop it up here. The monster arts for -1 looks bonkers. I want to get that. I do want to get that. I think I want to get that one. Maybe we'll review the SH monster arts -1. That'll be really cool because that one looks freaking crazy. And too bad that NECA isn't making them anymore, man. Can you guys imagine a -1 from NECA? Ugh. The price point, the quality for it. Ugh. Just one can dream. One can dream. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe button. More Godzilla. More Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe in the future. We got some Blue Eyes White Dragon over here. We never know. You never know. Pokemon. We're going to have more Weiss Schwarz if anything cool comes up. Lorcana coming up. We're going to have... it's going to be very quickly. They're going to come out in consecutive months. We got Obsidian Flames Pokemon next month, August, and then we have 151 in September, so it's going to be a lot of Pokemon too. But more Godzilla, I promise. Comment, please comment, like, and subscribe. Like the video so I know you guys want more Godzilla content. And I got some Godzilla figures to review. I have Gorosaurus, I have Jet Jaguar, I have Rodan from 1956. I got a bunch of different things still. I got a lot. Take it easy, guys. This has been Talk with Evil. Peace.